All right, everybody, how we all doing? Welcome to another episode of Megaman's Legend. And today we're gonna do something different. We're gonna have something pretty wild right now, right? Fun fact: I met him, and actually I've known him since like I don't want to say early GPPO days, but I would say like the late GPPO days into the early Fightcade 1 days. I have met him in my trips to Chi-Town, and this man has had a pretty sick blanka. So, without further ado, let me introduce you to my man Tony, aka Bonki. Blanka, what is happening, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. Thank you for having me.
Thank you for joining, man. I definitely wanted to have you on for sure. And one of the biggest reasons why is because I would say as a Blanka main, I would probably say, hey, a lot of folks don't really feel bad for Blanka mains, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like down the line, us Blanka and Geef mains have something in common, and that's basically the crappy matchups and everything. So it's like, but we learn how to we learn how to persevere through them. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of matches, a lot of losing, but that's how we do it, though. We just keep playing.
Absolutely, that is the game. Just keep playing. So, let's start off by telling us the story of Bonki. Tell me, man. Like, where did this all begin for you?
Well, when it comes to playing video games, I guess, or Street Fighter. I mean, first game console I played was Genesis, so as like at the age of 4 years old, every day, parents don't let me go out. They're just too scared. They're just like, child's gonna get kidnapped or whatever. But so they just put console in front of me and they don't gotta worry about much. So glued to the TV every day. But when it comes to Street Fighter, I went to Mexico. First time going over there. Stayed at my aunt's place, and there was a arcade machine right in front of her place. And guess which version of Street Fighter 2 was? But no, I don't think anybody can guess it.
Let's see, the version of Street Fighter 2 that you played down in Mexico, huh? Would I think it? I mean, it's not New Challengers, is it not?
No, definitely not.
Okay, definitely not. So it has to be either Rainbow Edition or.
No, you're right. Rainbow.
I'm right. Oh, okay.
Yeah. I was just like, I'd never seen Rainbow Edition anywhere else but that one place. And you just playing that game, you just see Ryu throwing like 10 Hadoukens in the screen, and you think that's just normal. And that's how I started out playing Street Fighter. Played against 5 kids. Like, I was 6 years old, and there was like these teenagers are like 15 years old, and I'm little kid myself, like playing against these guys. I picked Blanka, and I beat all of them. And the last guy that I beat, he was a big fella, and he was mad at me, dude. And then I was like, that's my character right there. That's my little introduction right there with Blanka, and my beginnings of gaming, really.
Really? Huh. Who knows? Who knew the beginning of that is playing the most broken version of Street Fighter, and then you just went from there. That's pretty awesome. I gotta say, that's very interesting. Very interesting. Okay,
Yeah,
so tell me this: how did you went from casual Street Fighter to competitive Street Fighter?
Oh, that was like meeting Miguel, Angel, Hood Pope, AK, and Gamble. We were all in high school. Like, I'm like 2 years younger than them. They met my brother. They knew my brother, and me and my brother, we played so much Street Fighter and other like Capcom games before. That's how they connected, and so like my brother brought over Miguel, Gamble, and just everything. We just like connected with sharing games, and so like we kept playing Street Fighter 2. Like I think we played Street Fighter 2 because of Gamble. Like he was like just so into like the competitiveness. But how we got into that, I think, is from watching that Third Strike, the Justin Wong parry, the Daigo parry, and we got just like that inspired us right there. Like, but while that inspiration was there, we were playing Street Fighter 4, and like that Daigo parry, it just we're like, oh, it's a competitive scene out there. It's just we play against each other all the time. Just for like we play certain days like for 8 hours, and it's just constant play. I think that's just like how we got good, honestly. Like develop like our own ways of playing and our own unique ways, and so that's how we got into the competitive scene, really. Like Miguel was the hookup, I think, like for Miguel and Gamble, the hookup for like where tournaments were happening in Chicago. Like, 'cause I didn't know nothing about that. Like, I was just there. I was there losing a lot with Blanka. It was just like tough life. But like I liked the challenge and kept playing, and Miguel just going to these tournaments. I was like, man, I want to go to more of these. So it's just how we got into it.
Oh, interesting. Well, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
And big shout outs to Miguel in the first place. Really cool dude. I had the pleasure of finally meeting him.
He's the guy.
Yeah, he is the guy. Like, I had the pleasure of finally meeting him. Which year was it? I think it was definitely not. Was it during the COVID time? I think it was during COVID.
It was during COVID time.
It was during COVID time, because I remember I took a trip out there. It was like work related, and I found the initial hookup was through Arch Villain, and I told him, I'm like, yo man, I'm supposed to be out in Chicago for about like a week because work wise, what happened was the Chicago team out there, and I was like, during the time I was working with Citibank, they were telling like how I think a majority of the team got KO'd, like they was like couldn't work because they had COVID. So
yeah,
they were.
I remember that.
Yeah, I was like, they was like, hey, they needed somebody to volunteer to do Chicago outside for like a week and some change, and I'm like, man, I said, why the hell not? Because I was gonna go.
I'm on over it.
Yeah, I'm all over it. I'm like, it was a paid. It was a paid trip. It was a paid trip. I get a company car, and all I have to do is just do the same shit that I was doing in New York and New Jersey. Just do it out there. And then I was like, yeah, I finally got to meet you guys. I'm like, man, you know, we all we did was played. We just played sets. That's all we did. We just played sets, man.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And
that was.
It was fun. That was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Like,
yeah, you whooped our asses. I was just like, I had no idea what to do with the Zangief. Like, I got my ideas, but I'm just like, you're doing stuff that I don't even know. Like, it's like your madness of like defense and then your pressure. I'm like,
yeah, it's funny because I mean, we were talking about it, and I was talking about it with Arch, right? Because he was here before. He was at my house with Grand, right? And we were talking about it in terms of, he was asking me, dude, how did you get like this, right? And I told him the interesting story started from learning how to stand 360, and then afterwards, when I got that down pat, then it's funny. I watched VODs, right? But not the VODs that you think about. I actually watched a whole lot of tool-assisted VODs of Zangief, and I just kind of took those ideas and I just put it right there. And then I just implemented my ideas into what I want to do with this character. And I'm like, oh, it just clicked, and I'm just like, oh, this game makes a lot of sense now. So it was very cool just meeting the Chicago scene, man, because you guys are like, I want to say like the hidden. I want to say like you guys are one of those, the scene that is like very. I want to consider it like the hidden tier, because you guys are like really good, like really good, and you guys are like really good, and it's like it shows in your gameplay. I mean,
yeah, we all got our personalities. Like, I swear, like Miguel, like I'll give him an example. Like, he is like total offense. Like he'll just his defense is his offense. Like that's how I see it.
Yeah.
And he just like that's how he plays. I'm like, and every time I see him, I'm like, you're a madman. What madman? And our shot, like high execution, like he is just like with precision, like, and like Gamble no longer plays that much because he lives in Las Vegas, but like he back then when we did play, he was just like doing things at another level, that because he plays Honda, and he inspired me because Honda's actually my secondary, and he's the reason why. So
I feel you. I finally got to. It's funny. I finally got to meet him in at Evo at 2022 actually, because
nice.
He was
good guy.
He was highly talked. So he was highly talked about by Mars Gotti actually, and between Arch and Mars Gotti, those two were highly talked about. They talked about Chris Gamble. Like, I've seen videos of Chris Gamble. It's funny because actually no. That's actually the second time I've met him. The very first time I met Chris Gamble was Summer Jam of 2014, 2015, because there was like players back then. You had at the time there was Mars, There was Mars. There was Cross. 6 buttons.
Yeah.
There was
good guy.
Cali Agent.
Good guy.
Yeah. There was Cali Agent. There was DJ Kevgees. There was who else was there? Chris Gamble. There was Chris Gamble. Comeback Kyle.
Yeah.
Who else was there? I was there. I think I was there. Josh C. At the time, who joined that tournament? I think it was Chris G joined the ST tournament that time as well. And yeah, it was an interesting tournament. It was a stacked tournament, man. And during that time, that's when I met him first. And I remember meeting Mars first, and that dude, back then that dude was whipping my ass. Now, I think to this day, I think the ass whooping has sort of receded, but he still beats me though. So it's pretty different though. It's pretty different. But I do want to know something though. So, what was it like? Now that you told me in terms of how you got into ST, the first game you played, how you got into ST, how you played it competitively. Before I even go into tournaments, right? I understand. I understand you, Archvillain, and Miguel went to Japan, right?
Oh yeah.
Tell me what was that like?
Oh man, it was, it was amazing, and let alone just being in Japan, it was amazing, and then just there was no rules for us, just exploring, we didn't know nothing. It was I had $0 when I got out. I had no money. And I just had to ask for some small cash so I could get some food here and there, and so I got paid that week. I just had no money, but it was a good journey. Whatever we did, it was just it felt magical. It was just so amazing. But seeing top players, seeing Komoda, I was just he was my inspiration, for any Blanka player I can imagine. But I played casual with him, and I got 2 games out of 5, and that made me happy. And we're just our perspective was just completely changed, because we're in a new country, and for me it felt slow. Things were I felt more calm, and so my gameplay was against the Japanese player was just, it felt different, because I was more patient with things, and it's just how it felt. I can't describe it. I can't put any more to it. But we were all just humbled to be there. We were happy just to play against these really good players, they've been playing it since Street Fighter 2 came out. It's I think it was for Kakeru. I think that was what it was called. We joined that, and we did the pre-Kakerugo, and it was just special character specialists, character teams. So team of Blanka, team of Chun-Li, team Zangief. So I just seeing AFO, I was he's the crazy Blanka. The Blanka player. It's right next to me, god damn it. And our first match was against Dawson. We couldn't beat Dawson. Dawson's too hard. I got one, and I beat one Dawson. I was like, I'm ready, I'm good with that. Like, it's hard. I don't get to play with Dawsons too much. So that's how it is. That's how it is in the United States. So when it comes to match experiences, that's how I feel about it. Like, I got that one game, and then our next match is against Ryu's, and I knocked down 4 or 5. I can't remember, but I felt happy about that one. And then when I lost, I think the player from France, his name is Nico Video, something like that. He's like, "Oh, you're a really good player." I was like, "Oh, thank you." I was like, "It's just my casual self, like doing my best. Like, I don't know how good I look, but I did my best." And Miguel, like, he knocked down 10 Ryus. I'm like, what the? It was so hype. I was like, man, we didn't expect to do. I don't know. We didn't have any expectations. That's what I'm saying. Just to do our best. Really, we were really humble to be over there. We were just happy to enjoy our time there. So that, I'd say that's like the space around how we felt for the majority of the time, having a good time and being happy to be there, really. So life changing.
Well, that's good, man. I mean, as a person that's seen that from the outside in, I am jealous. Like, I am so jealous that I have yet to go to Japan for myself. But I
didn't know that.
No, I didn't know that. I've never went. What? Yeah, never went. I've never went. Not yet. I mean, I had an opportunity to go, right? Mm-hmm. Ticket bought and everything like that. Ticket bought. I know I had a layover, but it's okay, right? Ticket bought and everything like that. But ironically, this happened when, I guess, COVID just like, I want to say it hit, right? It didn't hit, but it hit. And then airlines were like canceling flights left and right. So when that happened, I was supposed to go with my boy Riz1. And I was supposed to go with him, and I think I was supposed to go with him and meeting up with Damn Die also. So that would have been like my first time ever going. And trust me, just like that, I was gonna go. The money situation, I was gonna figure that out later. But all I know is I was hyped. I was going for a week, and I was like, yes, this is happening. And then when that happened, it kind of just fell through. But I do plan on going. I do plan on going eventually. So
I hope you do go sometime soon.
I do. Eventually. I do too, man. And there's a lot of folks that really, really wants me to go. And I'm like, yeah, eventually I will go. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, go before all the arcades close down.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, I heard. Yeah, I heard the unfortunate with Space Shuttle. That sucks, though. That really does.
Yeah, it does.
That does. Okay, so tell me. So now that we got that, out of the way, right? Tell me something. Let's talk about your past tournaments, right?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a 2-part question, right? The first one is, what has been your highest placing in tournaments in ST? And the second question is, actually it's 2.5. It's like 3-parter. So one of it is, what's the what is the most memorable tournament you had? And what was the biggest challenge you faced? What was one of the biggest challenges you faced also?
Gotcha. Well, I'll answer the first one. The highest placing is first place, but that's for like just like local tournaments and stuff like that. I can't remember like how many times I got first place, but there'll be just like less than 10 people or a little bit above 10 people, you know, because ST is not the most popular here as it is. But majors is second place, and let's see, the most memorable is Combo Breaker 2022. Like, so I was there like with full anxiety, and like I lost to a Sagat player. I don't remember who it was, but like my hands were so shaky that like I was jumping left and right, but not because I wanted to. It was just it was abysmal. I was like I'm gonna lose so bad. I'm gonna but I started just barely winning my matches until I got into like, I think it was top 16, and then that's when my confidence was just like going through the roof. I was like, I'm just like flying, just not fazed by anything. It was amazing, and people were just like so happy that just seeing my Blanka just like going through. It was like, you're gonna win this, Tony. You're gonna win this. And I was like, I'm doing my best. I'm doing my best. And I get to versing Miguel, and I 3-0'd him. I was like, and like it was the most intense set in that night. The second would be like me trying to get grand finals, but everyone was just like super hyped when me and Miguel, because it just looked like we were doing like some orchestrated thing, and like we planned it or something. But we're just all, you know, like this is how we play, and we go head on, and we're just very aggressive players against each other. So that was like really exciting. And one of the things I did during a gameplay when I played against Climax in grand finals, I did like my electricity, like knocked it down, and like he got hit by my electricity. I crossed him up, and then I crossed him up again, electricity, and everybody was just like losing it. They were losing it. I was like, that was very memorable. It was so fun, and then lost. But I don't know, like Boxer versus Blanka. What can you do?
Yeah, that's a sad match, honestly.
Makes me want to cry sometimes.
I mean, I don't blame you. I don't blame you at all, but you know, I feel you, and that's a rough matchup. I think that matchup is like, for me, it's equivalent to like Geef versus Honda in a way. So it's like one of those matchups that, man, it's like you don't really have much of an answer for it, but it's like, you know, the answer. Yeah. I mean, the answer is there, but man, trying to look for it is just tough. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But what helped me through that tournament is as I said, my momentum. I was like, there's like nothing was phasing me. I was like, I'm going, like I'm going in, like you're not stopping me, but he stopped me.
Yeah, I mean, there's no shame. There's no shame losing to Climax, and shout outs to Climax, by the way. There's no shame losing. Oh, yeah. He's like the most. I would say he's like the most jolly player that I've ever met in years.
Yeah.
So
when he was playing against me, I was just like, he was like happy that I was like doing these crazy shit on him. I was like,
yeah,
don't be happy, be mad.
That's a secret power, man. Like he can't be upset. There's no way he can be upset. Like you have to do something real crazy to this dude to be upset about.
And what that is, who knows?
Yeah,
he
exactly.
won't let that secret out.
Exactly. We will never know. We will never know. So, but it's cool to know. Like 2002, I was watching that tournament between you and Miguel, and that was like high-powered offense, but you pulling it off was pretty amazing because of that momentum. And there were times when that climax match, you had I don't want to say you had the upper hand, but you had like the comeback factor. But you just fell short, like really short. It was like it was crazy, man. I mean the amount of people that was cheering, man, trying to say, yo, get Blanka a dub in this tournament. It would have been crazy. But
I was like, I was like perfectly fine. I wasn't upset at all. Like when I lost, I was like, boy, I went that far. Like, that was good. Like that was pretty good.
That is pretty good, and I'm happy for you, and I'm proud of you with that one, man. I do. So
thank you.
Now here's a question. In terms of, it's like a strategy, right? I would think about, do you develop some strategies in matches? And besides developing the strategies in matches, how do you adapt your play? How do you adapt your play style on the fly against tougher opponents?
Well, do I have strategy? That's a good question. Let's see. I have my place of view of like when I look at the match and I look at what the player is doing, like to see if I could break them or if there's something that they're lacking of. That's what I usually look for, and that's my base right there, pretty much. Like the tougher matchups, like let's say against DJ, like I guess that's when I look for like weaknesses, because it's just hard. It's a hard matchup. It's really hard. And when it comes to easier ones, I'm just like, don't get too out of control. Like there might, when it comes to tournament play, at least, casuals, I'll go bonkers. I'll do whatever the hell I want. But like tournament wise, I'm just like, I can't be too crazy, because that's how I usually play. But if I see like if it, once it's working like for anything really, I don't stop. I just like keep going. So that's how. I forgot the other question you asked. The
other question I asked is basically, how do you? Well, besides, I think you said you just don't really have much of a strategy, right?
No, pretty much not. I want to say no, because like I don't play ST too consistent. When it comes to other players, like I don't play 5K. I don't like 5K, but I do like 5K for the people to play it online. If you enjoy it, that's fantastic. I encourage that, definitely. But I don't have that motivation to be at home. I like to play with other people, and we do have that opportunity here. Not all the time because everyone's busy, and our setup is not consistent either. So I do love to play in person. So like I say, the lack of like having a consistent play doesn't really. It gives me like a less strategic mindset to my gameplay, I want to say. But I do be beating people, so I don't know. But that's how I go about it. So
I see.
Maybe I do have a strategy, but once I'm in that zone, who knows? And then once I'm done playing, I'm just like, all right, that was a set. That was a wrap. I'm done. But I'm usually like just I don't know. I guess a lot of things go in my mind, or maybe it could be linear. Who knows? Like it would be great to play more games, but that's just not the reality at the moment. But that's my view on how I see myself when it comes to strategy. I think consistency helps a lot.
Yeah, I mean, consistency does help a lot. I mean, I feel like there are those that I feel like they don't really have the consistency, and they're kind of, I want to say like they're blessed with the idea of just like kind of just picking it up and just getting back into the groove of it.
Yeah.
But it's like I feel like for most, especially like low tier warriors like us, like we have to be consistent in order to keep it going. And because if we don't be consistent, it feels like the level that you were at is just immensely drops. And then now you have to be like, well, you have to claw your way back all the way to what you were. But then at the same time, lately, you have all these players that now coming through that apparently that is really, really good. And it's like, man, it makes it tougher. But then it's like, you can't. I mean, at the same time, you can't be against it. I think you would welcome the more challenging aspect of it, because now it'd be like, oh well, they're actually helping you level up at this point. So
yeah, exactly.
It helps a lot. It definitely helps a lot.
It does. It's like not everyone knows every like counter in every situation. So like, the more you know, the more scarier you are.
Yeah.
So that's how I see it. And the more that you remember these things or have them instinctively within your memory, then just like you're gonna be terrified. You're gonna be terrifying.
I agree with you. You will be terrified. Totally terrified. Okay. So now, I'm not sure if you actually pay attention to the FGC as much, right? But I'm willing to ask anyway, right? Looking from the outside in, what do you think about the state of the current FGC at the moment?
Well, as much as I know, I think that like every like community, every fighting game community has their own thing going on, and they just if they have something going on, and they could go to like different states and stuff like that and get to play but I am not too sure, like, of the state of it, honestly. Like, if I go to, like, I wanted to go to the barbecue. I was like, looks exciting, you know. I'll be, that just make me happy, and I don't know, like, I can't really say about the state of it, honestly. I just show up if I can, really.
Right.
Like, I'll tell you this, that, like, my priority in life, I have other things to do, and like ST, you know, it's in my heart, it's in my blood, but I don't put all my efforts to it, and I don't think everybody does, at least here in the United States.
Right.
Because, like, we all, you know, we're all trying to live. We're all trying to live. We're all trying to just get by and just do our best.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I've been just, like, let alone what happened during the pandemic. Like, it's a weird times, and trying to get back in ourselves and in some type of routine or anything like that, and the healthy mindset.
Right.
It's just, I feel like the state of it, of the FGC, is kind of scattered. Like, when it comes to like when it comes to like the consistency, the love for it, like, things are happening, I feel. But I guess that's all I see. Just like, things are happening. Are they big? I can't tell, honestly. Well, I guess, like, when it comes to like tournaments with setups, when it comes to ST, there's not much love, from what I gathered.
Yeah.
But that to me is like, we gotta put the work into it, you know, like, ourselves. Like, at least in the Chicago community, like, if we want things to be running, we really gotta put ourselves to have like a decent running for ST. And like, we got people, but I don't think it's enough, because for those that are giving the equipment, and running the things, it's stressful. It's so stressful. Like, you kind of don't want to do it no more. From seeing those that are like supporting ST, and they're just like, you know, it's kind of stressful. So I'm like, man, I love to contribute. Just like, things, I guess, ST is just not a priority for me.
Right.
And I'll be honest, you know, like, because I'll tell you, like, even further, like, back in 2014, that's when I went to Las Vegas and did the Tournament of Legends 2, and right after I finished that, you know, I didn't do so on the tournament. I had a really good time over there, and I just told myself, like, I'm not gonna focus on ST no more. So throughout those, like, 5 years till 2019 to the early, like, 2020s, when, like, I had no interest of playing ST. So there was like a big gap. I played it here and there, but very, very small amounts. And
I feel you. So you kind of like seldomly play nowadays, pretty much. So I understand.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, like, again, everyone's schedule is just different, and I actually do hit up people when the time does come. And I was like, yo, come through, come play, and we have really good time. Yeah. And we got Third Strike players at Logan Arcade that play ST2, so the more the merrier. Like, it's great, like, when it does happen.
That's cool. That's cool. I understand. I understand. Okay.
Oh yeah.
So, so at this point now, I think we've gone through everything. Pretty much, you're not really into ST, but you still play. You still love the game at this point.
Oh yeah.
What would you tell let's say there's a new player. Actually, before I even ask that, about the setup wise, which you did touch on, right? So you were right. I mean, the setup wise, I want to say it's in a weird state, right? While it's in a weird state because while a game like ST is normally supposed to be played on cabs, right? And basically the cab feeling is probably the most surreal feeling that you'll ever feel, because I mean it's a reminiscent of playing in an arcade basically. And the cab can I mean, I feel like the cab pretty much is like, okay, it's what embodies the whole, the whole arcade feel, and especially in a game like Super Turbo. But we're in a time, right, that setups has become, I want to say, quite difficult, because it's kind of hard moving cabs across the USA. But then at the same time, like, we do get new blood in ST, but the problem is they prefer to like use their own sticks, use their own pads, and everything like that. So I want to say like the accommodation is very weird, to say the least.
It is. Yeah, it is. Like, I know that when I first started playing ST, like, I played on pad, and then eventually went to stick. I was like, but my goal was like, oh man, I want to play on cabinet. That's just like the best thing ever. And it seems like newer players like wants to use whatever setup that they have, and I was like, man, like we need like some kind of consistency to play which setup, which in my head it's like, just let's try to get Astros or SSA cabinets and stuff like that. To be the normal, but that's expensive though, and you gotta put it somewhere. It's a big cabinet, especially with two cabinet setups. So like it has to be some, I don't know, like encouragement to like play on these setups. But when you're at home and you can play ST on your computer and you can play on anything, keyboard, your pad, anything really. So and then they have to transition, to stick if they want to play ST, and some people don't want to do that, I guess. I can imagine, at least.
It is it's kind of difficult, because like, I agree in terms of playing on your own setup, and I think one of the biggest reasons why I feel this is happening is because when it comes to cabs, I mean, these are like these cabs are like years old, and
they are.
And you're pumping like new technology into these cabs. That's one thing. And then at the same time, it's like, not a lot of people who are cab owners, right, wants to, I don't want to
modification.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't want to say destroy it, to just kind of, take away the pressure. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I don't want to say it's destroyed because you're taking away the perseverance of it, but it's like you installing like USB decoders inside there to cater for the new people. Now, I believe, and I think you could agree with me, right? Is that I feel like, okay, there's people that says, oh, well, if you don't do that, you'll lose the players, like you lose the newcoming players. While that remains to be seen, I feel like I think that's majority wrong. Because I feel like, just like you were a pad player, but then you transitioned to stick. And I feel like playing on stick, I'm not saying it's not hard. It's the matter of, you know, sitting down, getting to learn it. Because just like you, how I started playing this, like, I played new challengers, right? And for the longest, my choice was the 6-button Sega Genesis pad for like the longest. And I remember when I first, and this is funny, when I first played GDPO, right? I was thinking to myself at the time, I was playing on keyboard. But then I was like, you know, I kind of got tired of it. And what I ended up doing was splicing my Sega Genesis pad to a USB port, and then I just use it as a controller at the time.
Hey.
So it worked out until I remember when I went to my local the first time, and that's when I got to see the Astros. And I was like, you know what? And I'm like, oh man, I looked at it, I'm like, oh my god, I have no idea how to play this on stick. So I'm like to myself, all right, well, I guess it's time to go to the drawing board. And I just sat down and learned. But I would say overall, while playing on your setup is not bad, but I feel like if you're a tournament player, I feel like you should be able to play on any sort of, you know, any sort of playing field. Not saying, okay, sure, the calves has to be maintained, of course. But I feel like if the calves are maintained, you should be able to play with no issues. That's how I see it.
Yeah, exactly. Like, but I don't see it like the consistency of like having those setups and just like I don't know, you tell me. I don't watch every tournament, but like do every like Astro City cabinet have like the USB to connect, or I would
say like not every. So from the tournaments I've been through, I would say it's like 60-40. 60% of tournaments that has the Cavs there doesn't have it. But the 40%, it's either between the Cavs that does have it or is on Super Gun, basically.
Yeah. It's like I don't know, in my head I'm just like do we really want to like have that be the normal, like just to have all the Astro City to have a USB into it, or can we just like leave them alone and if you want to play EST, you gotta learn on stick, you know? It's, to me, it's easier to play on stick because I'm just like, I already play stick, so, but I'm like, why can't other people transition to that? But you know, it's different now. Everyone has so many ways to play fighting games. I'm just like, it's not just, I don't think fight stick is the attraction anymore. Like just fight stick. Like there's more attractions to play on different styles of controllers, you know. So
I feel it.
I don't know. It's like I played at ST since 2010 competitively. I was like 17 years old, and throughout the years, like we never really had a problem with it's like what controller we should play. It's just like our only issue is like what setup do we have? do we have a let's see, what are the good stuff, like a Dreamcast ST setup, or do we have HDR classic setup, or like those were throughout those years. And then I see like more encouragement to play on the cabinets, like through tournaments and stuff. I was like, man, this should be like the norm. Like people should be playing on stick and play, you know.
Right.
Hitbox wasn't created not too long ago. I don't know when it was created, but that set off the you know, different ways to approach or how to play the game, and giving people the option to modify Astro City cabinets, so, or you know, all the Japanese cabs. But that's just my observation there of what's going on, and is there a divisiveness of, I don't know. I hear I see the conversations, but is it really a big issue? Is what I'm saying.
Right.
Like people are angry, but like of disagreeing with each other, but like they are people like. But
no, I understand, and you're absolutely right about it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
now that we're kind of towards the end, right? Tell me something. Do you have any? I gave you pretty much like a two-parter episode. I mean, a two-parter episode, a two-parter question, a two-parter question, right? Mm-hmm. And I'll give you to my final one. My two-part question is: do you have any short-term or long-term goals in the FTC or in the ST scene, and do you have any tournaments that you're aiming for nowadays?
Not necessarily. Like, I like to see it by, like, at the moment I'm playing more than usual, and I'm hitting up my friends. So like, I like to keep it running and see what goes on. So no particular goals. The next tournament that I'm playing, I like to go is in France, the XSB, and just pop up and say, hey.
That's awesome.
Like, see what happens.
That's awesome.
Let's see how the money goes. Like, if the money's right, then I'll pop by.
That's awesome. Like, they are very welcoming, so I would definitely recommend you to go. Like, I went in 2022 actually, and
oh, nice.
I didn't do too bad, to be honest with you. So I didn't do too bad. I made like maybe top 64 in singles, but I made third in teams. So I would say the level of play over there is different. So
yeah,
I would say like they're very close to what Japan level is. So
yeah.
I would highly.
They look like I've seen tournaments. Yeah.
Yeah, they are very close. Very close. So if you have the money straightened out and everything, man, trust me, just go. That's all I'm gonna just tell you.
Yeah.
And not to mention,
I'll be like,
it's amazing.
Hey. I'll be like coming over there. I'm just like this is my Chicago style blanka. You ain't ready. Like, you don't know what's coming after you.
And that's and you know the thing is, that's the best part. The best part is they don't know about your blanka, so you have literally like the element of surprise when you do go.
Exactly. That's what That's what I aim for, and then to learn it during my stay over there if I do go.
Yeah.
It's just come in and see how it is over there,
Yup. I'll be glad. I'll be happy that you actually do go there. So that's pretty awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, man. So we're at the end. Tell me, you have, let's say, for people who wants to follow you, do you have any socials?
Do I have any social?
Like Twitter, X, what's it called?
Yeah. I'm just like thinking about my Twitter. I'm just like, I don't post too much, but if y'all want to follow me there, like you can. And I want to say I forgot what's my Twitter name, but if you could find it, my name is Bonki. Man, that's how much I don't use my Twitter. I'm just like, because I created it a long time ago, and I gave it a stupid name, and I think it's Rough Heroin, like RUFF, and then heroin, like the drug.
Rough heroin. Wow.
Yeah, Rough Heroin. It was just some high school inside joke, really, and it has no meaning now. So that exists.
Oh, I see.
So I do go on it, like, just to see what's up with the FGC, and like whenever there's tournaments going on, like checking out, like, oh, like what happened. Yeah, every now and then.
Do you play any of the modern games though?
Not too much. I tried Tekken 8 for like 2 days, and I was done. And Street Fighter 6, I went up to Diamond 3, but the reason I played that because my friend / boss, he plays that, so that's my only reason to play, really. But like when it comes to any modern games, not really. I dedicate my time usually with music. I listen to a lot of music. Music nerd here. I collect records, and it's my passion. So I listen to a lot of music. It's my journey.
That's awesome. I know you listen to a lot of music, and you play some music too. So
yeah, oh yeah.
That's pretty dope, man. Not a lot of musicians in the ST scene, to be honest with you. So
yeah, a bunch of nerds. I'm kidding.
Yeah, it kind of is true, because everybody would say about the ST scene. Everybody call us the guys that has the 401ks. Like it's kind of ranging in terms of our profession. So it's kind of interesting. So
no doubt. I mean,
no doubt.
I'm a nerd myself, but like I don't talk nerdy. I can tell you shit, but I ain't gonna be like actually.
Oh man, that's funny.
I ain't gonna do it. Yeah.
That's funny, man. Well, thank you so much for being a part of this interview, man. I really appreciate it. I'm very honored that you joined.
No, my pleasure, man. I'm happy they invited. Great talking to you. Great Zangief player, and great person in general. I feel you're very genuine. So, be honest. Your gameplay's honest, and I hate it. But
it's as honest as it could get. But it's pretty. I'm not gonna say it's linear, but I want to say it's not linear, but it's more like, man, it's honestly guessing. That's pretty much what it is. And it's like you have to guess between my defensive tactics to my offense. So it's like, yeah.
Yeah. No, I remember.
Yeah, I definitely gotta visit you guys again, man. It's been too long, to be honest with you. So
yeah, I need to visit New York. You know, like, but motherfuckers need to pay me. So sorry for sure.
Hey, this is not it's not PG, so it's okay. So.
Hey.
So don't even worry about it. But yeah, you should just if you eventually does come to New York, you just hit me up. Or if you come to New York and you decide to come to you come to my barbecue, I mean, I'll be glad to have you over. Hell, I'll be glad to keep you over as well too. I did it for Arshad and Zagrand when the last time they were here. So.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, I ain't got no problem to keep you over, man.
I'm a good person too, so I won't bite you. Not like Blanka, you know. I'm just.
You better. I mean, we both bite, so it's okay though.
We gotta watch out. We
gotta watch out. But really, thank you so much for being a part of this interview, man. And it means a lot that you do join, and people get to know you better, and people should just totally watch out. Hey, you do say it. You do say it.
Be friendly and watch out for me too.
Oh yeah, of course. Yeah. I can't be lacking when it comes to you, bro. So yeah. But
much respect.
Before we go, you have any shout outs?
Oh, of course. I was thinking about my other FGC Chicago folks. Shouts to Jiggly. Shouts to Jermaine. Oh, I'll say their characters too. Jiggly Beilong, Jermaine Dalsim. Shouts to come on, brain. Think of the good people. I'm lacking right now. My brain is fuzzing now.
You want me to give you some players?
Give me some names, please. The Grand
Honda or Boxer, one of the two. Then Arch Villain Dictator. Then Butter Toast Boxer.
Butter Toast, come on, brain! You didn't figure out Butter Toast.
Butter Toast
fucking
Boxer.
Gets me.
And then there's Marvel Honda.
Exactly, Marvel. Like a new player too. He started so not too long ago, and man, such a good player. I'm like, you level up so much.
Yeah.
Shout out to Marvel.
Shout out to Marvel, indeed, man. But yep, thank you so much for joining, my man. And thank you everybody for tuning in to another episode of Megaman's Legends. So tune in for the next one, and I will see you all soon. See you all later.
Peace
Peace out.